Chapter 81 Leave Things Behind, Get Out. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Is something wrong? Su Ba paused in his footsteps and said lightly. Yu Lushan walked to Su Ba with lotus steps, looked at him and frowned. Who are you, and why are you here? Su Ba really wanted to laugh, shook his head, and said indifferently, it doesn't matter who I am. As for why I am here, does it have anything to do with you? Is this your house or your relative's house? Yu Lushan didn't expect that this kid's mouth is quite poisonous, and he said directly without talking nonsense. It seems that you have picked all the 100-year-old jingling flowers near this cave, right? So what? Hee, you are quite courageous, and you are lucky. In the early stage of the 5-star cultivation base, he dared to come to Yunwu Mountain. Originally, there were many cloud lions nearby, and there were even 6th-level cloud lions. I don't know why they are all gone, otherwise, a 6th-level cloud lion is enough to make you regret your life. This woman is quite verbose. Su Ba glanced at Yu Lushan and said indifferently, my courage and luck are just like that. If there is nothing wrong, let me go quickly, I have something to do. Yu Lushan's pretty face is changing. If junior brother Xian's news is correct, there will be at least 20 or 30 100-year-old jingling flowers here, which together are worth more than 2,000 gold, enough to be worth 100 low-grade true essence stones. What's more, there are other spiritual materials around, and there are many centuries old. The cultivation base has reached the realm of her 5-star peak and above, and the resource consumption is huge, and it is far from enough to rely on the salary of the Wufu. Why, you stuck with me as soon as we met, and want to go with me? Su Ba said indifferently. You're as beautiful as you think. Yu Lushan glared at Su Ba with her beautiful eyes. Afterwards, after struggling for a while in his heart, the little hand holding the sword gradually loosened, and he said in a cold voice, forget it, everything is about first come first, then you go. Su Ba calmly retracted his perception of Yu Lushan's small hand holding the sword, and nodded lightly, just now, if this woman dared to draw her sword, then don't blame Su Ba for his savage destruction. Junior sister Yu, what's the matter, who are you talking to, do you gain anything here? At this time. Another voice came from outside. Immediately afterwards, 3 young men in their 20s wearing blue suits strode into the cave. They wore the same black waistcards as Yu Lushan, with the words War Wolf engraved on the waistcards, which should be some top military mansion in another country. After all, looking at their cultivation base, all of them are above the peak of 5 stars, and the young man who just came in is at the early stage of 6 stars. In Fengwu Kingdom, apart from Yunmeng Wufu, there is no other Wufu that could have such a young genius. Who is your kid? As soon as the 3 young men came in, they saw Su Ba beside Yu Lushan. The young man in the lead suddenly turned cold and shouted at Su Ba, Ho! What a majesty! Su Ba sneered in his heart, but his face was indifferent. He didn't mean to answer at all. He was about to leave with his hands on his back. Senior brother Wei, he. At this time, Yu Lushan also simply conveyed the news. That's the way it is, we came a step late, forget it, let's go. Wait, Wei Gangjie raised his brows, and called out Su Ba a little unkindly. This kid dares to ignore him, and still wants to take the harvest and leave. Ridiculous. Immediately. Wei Gangjie came to Su Ba a few steps, narrowed his narrow eyes, looked at Su Ba domineeringly, and ordered. Boy, hand over all the 100-year-old jingling flowers you collected, get out. Don't say I didn't warn you. When Su Ba heard this, his eyes narrowed. Chapter 82 Is this guy a devil? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Are you talking to me? Su Ba looked at Wei Gangjie calmly and said. I didn't tell you, I told the ghost. Wei Gangjie curled his lips in disdain, suddenly caught a glimpse of something in his eyes, and said sternly. Hey, it turned out to be an inner disciple of the Yunmeng Wufu of Fengwu Kingdom. No wonder you are so courageous, you dare to go to Yunwu Mountain in the early stage of 5-star cultivation. It's amazing, I am afraid that few people in China's War Wolf Wufu dare to do this. That's why you are too weak, Su Ba said coldly. Chat, is I flattering you? Wei Gangjie sneered angrily. Among the three kingdoms martial arts in the eastern region of the eastern region, the Wolf Warrior martial house in China is the strongest, followed by the Flying Tiger martial arts house in Han Yuegua. The weakest is the Yunmeng Wufu of your Fengwu kingdom. It has always been a competition among the top disciples of the three kingdoms in the eastern district of the Inner Palace, which one is not my senior brother from the Inner Palace of the Battle Wolf Wufu, it is up to you. Wei Gangjie was talking when he saw Su Ba closed his eyes. At the same time, an indifferent word interrupted him. Noisy. I was worried that no one would test my newly learned secret skills, and someone came to my door. Send you. Uncle. To try tricks in front of Lao Tzu. Oh, looking for death. Go, put this ignorant kid on the ground for me. Immediately, Wei Gangjie gave orders coldly. Yes, a young man at the top of the 5-star peak suddenly burst into a powerful momentum. He raised a knife and slashed towards Su Ba's head, grinning wickedly. The spicy chicken in the early 5-star stage of Yunmeng Wufu, let the genius Wang Xuanfu of Wolf Warrior Wufu teach you how to be a man. Remember, my name is Wang Xuanfu. The sharp blade of light descended from the sky, about to hit Su Ba's head. Yu Lushan's face showed an unbearable look. This boy's 5-star initial strength was absolutely unable to stop Wang Xuanfu's attack, and he closed his eyes. He didn't know what to do. Did he seek death? She is about to intercept it. But next second, Su Ba suddenly opened his eyes, and everyone only felt that there seemed to be an eerie and terrifying aura flashing across the cave. Then they saw that Wang Xuanfu, who was opposite him, didn't know what to do. His body shook, his pupils lost focus in an instant, and he fell softly to the ground. What happened? This kid glanced at Wang Xuanfu, and Wang Xuanfu fell down. I go. A genius martial artist whose eyes knocked down the 5-star peak. Outside, the general 6-star early stage is not a match for Wang Xuanfu. Do not joke. Wei Gangjie's pupils shrank suddenly, and he looked at Su Ba with some doubts. What kind of magic trick did this kid use? Could it be that he did it so quickly that he couldn't even see it clearly? This is impossible. Yu Lushan's pretty face was also full of astonishment, her rosy mouth opened wide. As for the other young man who followed Wei Gangjie, he was a little confused. Wang Xuanfu was on a par with him in strength, and they were also well-known existences in the Wolf Warrior Mansion. However, Wang Xuanfu was actually put down by a guy in the early 5-star stage with one look. Is this guy the devil? He had never encountered such a bizarre thing before, and the palm of his hand holding the sword unconsciously overflowed with cold sweat. Looking at the calm and terrifying Su Ba in front of him, he swallowed and turned to look at Wei Gangjie with difficulty. His eyes seemed to say, "Brother, I can't stand such an opponent." Waste. Wei Gangjie scolded the man with a livid face. Then he turned to look at Su Ba with a cold face. At this time, Su Ba put his hands on his back, looked at Wei Gangjie and said indifferently. Don't say I didn't remind you. Hand over the storage ring, I won't hit you. Chapter 83 Tongue-Pulling Hell. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I wipe. Wei Gangjie's angry nose hairs came out. He couldn't believe his ears, and laughed angrily. Boy, don't you think that you are really invincible? If I guessed correctly, you are using a rare soul attack method. If you are caught off guard, it is easy to be hit. You can even do the same level spike. However, Lao Tzu is an early stage 6-star warrior, and now that he is prepared, I see what you can do to me. Crystal. A heart-shattering sound of a blade appeared. Wei Gangjie drew his sword and unsheathed it, his aura suddenly skyrocketed. In an instant, he used his strongest move. The wind blows the clouds. With an angry shout, Wei Gangjie's whole body surged out of his true essence, and he slashed down, but before the sword chi fell, the entire cave rumbled and trembled under the terrifying power. At the same time, an inexplicable aura rose from Wei Gangjie. The surrounding scene changed suddenly. In front of everyone's eyes, there seems to be a terrifying tornado, tearing apart anything in the way. Mysterious rank top-grade Deshang sword technique plus entry-level whirlwind sword intent, that Yu Lushan was taken aback. Senior brother Wei was going to kill this Yunmeng Wufu disciple. The young man who followed Wei Gongjie laughed wildly and adored him. Ha ha ha, boy, to die under the strongest sword of my senior brother Wei, you are enough to rest your eyes. My senior brother Wei is a genius, and I realized the existence of artistic conception at the early stage of 6 stars, that there was a smug smile on the corner of Wei Gongjie's mouth, looking at Su Ba with contempt, waiting for the whereabouts of the sword energy. Die, that the knife air pressed down, and Su Ba's cheek stinged slightly as the sharp knife air stabbed him. Su Ba's face was calm, at the last moment. The eye of hell, the first floor, the tongue-pulling hell. Following a faint voice, Su Ba closed his eyes and opened them again. The pupils in his eyes disappeared, turning into 2 black vortexes. Ah, your eyes, Wei Gongjie exclaimed. Boom! His body shook violently. I only felt that the surroundings suddenly became dark, and a gloomy and deep breath enveloped the audience. In an instant, Wei Gongjie felt as if the sky above his head was dripping blood, and the ground under his feet became sticky, like a layer of chopped flesh and blood. Countless little devils emerged from the flesh and blood mud, holding iron tongs with scarlet tongues pulled out from the iron tongs. The next moment, the kid threw off the tongue from the iron pliers, turned his head abruptly, saw Wei Gongjie, and the scarlet light in his eyes flashed away. With a loud roar, each and everyone madly rushed towards Wei Gongjie. Go away, go away! Wei Gongjie was shocked and slashed at the little devil who came up with his knife. The whirlwind knife is raging. But there are so many little ghosts, endless, in all directions. In the next second, countless little ghosts swooped on him, and some little ghosts sneered into Wei Gongjie's mouth, grabbed his tongue, and pulled it out of his mouth. Then the other little devils clamped with iron pliers like lightning, and then stretched and twisted Wei Gongjie's tongue cruelly. Ah! Wei Gongjie let out a shrill scream, boom. Accompanied by the sound of metal landing, inside the cave, Wei Gongjie's long knife fell to the ground. His face was pale, his eyes were dull, and a large piece of white foam spit out from his mouth, and after a while, it fell down like mud, and the whirlwind sword intent he had condensed before dissipated instantly because he lost the control of the original owner. It was dead silence all around. Chapter 84 The Power of Su Ba. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this time, in the heavenly China Wolf Warrior Mansion, there are 2 more people standing there, but at this moment, they were all stunned by the scene in front of them. The originally applauded young man from the Wolf Warrior Martial House had his eyes staring like quail eggs, and he couldn't believe what he saw. Yu Lushan opened her mouth blankly, and covered her jade hands unconsciously. Su Ba's eyes of hell are only aimed at those who attack, so they can't see Su Ba's eyes turning into black vortexes. They only knew that Su Ba was still the same as before. He closed his eyes, opened his eyes, and glanced at Wei Gongjie. After that, Wei Gongjie's offensive all collapsed, and his whole body twitched on the spot. In less than a few breaths, Wei Gongjie foamed at the mouth and collapsed. My God! Too crazy! Wei Gongjie is a 6-star early-stage cultivation base, and he ranks among the top 50 geniuses in the Wolf Warrior Mansion. He was actually killed by an inner palace disciple from Yunmeng Wufu in the early 5-star stage. This is incredible. The Wolf Warrior Mansion is more than a bit stronger than the Yunmeng Mansion. At this moment, Su Ba stepped forward and took off the storage ring that Wei Gongjie was wearing on his finger, then gave a cold glance at the remaining young man in the Battle Wolf Martial House. Ah, don't look at it! The young man from the Battle Wolf Martial Mansion fell softly on the ground, hurriedly screamed and closed his eyes. Closed tightly, dare not open it. Terrible! This young man has been frightened by Su Ba. Seeing this, Su Ba withdrew his gaze expressionlessly, and then strode out of the cave. Yu Lushan, who was left standing last, looked at Su Ba's back and hesitated. Don't worry, they are not dead, but I advise you to take them back as soon as possible, lest the soul trauma be not treated in time and become idiots. Outside the cave, Su Ba's faint voice came, and then there was no movement outside. Yu Lushan and the rest of the young warriors of the wolf warrior Wufu reacted and did not dare to delay. 100 meters from the cave, Su Ba leaned against a big tree and looked indifferently as the few people in the war wolf martial house disappeared from his sight. The soul power attack is really hard to guard against, and the attack is neat and tidy. Su Ba pondered secretly. With his current soul power, he can wield the first layer of hell in the eye of hell and pull out the tongue of hell. To deal with a genius martial artist in the early stage of 6 stars, he can basically achieve an instant kill. If it is an ordinary martial artist, I am afraid that it is a late 6 star, and it will not be able to match his prestige. What's more, there are 17 layers of hell mood behind the eye of hell, and the power increases exponentially for each layer you increase. If Su Ba now has all the 18 layers of hell, he is afraid that even the powerhouses in the innate realm will not be able to bear it. Moreover, as his soul power increases, the power of each layer of hell will continue to increase, which is terrifying just thinking about it. This kind of secret skill is really comparable to the Supreme Divine Martial Arts Method 9 Yang Divine Art that he has learned. As for why Su Ba just now didn't directly smash the sea of spiritual consciousness of Wei Gongjie and kill them, it wasn't his virgin. Instead, if you want to kill, you must kill them all. But the other two didn't take action against him, and he didn't want to waste his life. Since we can't cut the grass and root, we can only let Wei Gongjie and the 2 of them die. Furthermore, there are only a lot more powerhouses in Heavenly China's Wolf Warriors martial house than in Yunmeng's martial arts house. With Su Ba's current strength, he still needs to develop vulgarly. Okay, there are still 20 days left, it's time to have a good experience. Before the words fell, Su Ba's figure turned into a ball of electric light and disappeared in place. Chapter 85. The strength is completely renewed. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Number 3 on the list of outstanding people, Jin Zhao, a 6-star peak cultivation base, good at swordsmanship, comprehends sword intent. The 8th best person on the list, Xuanhuan, a late 6-star cultivation base, good at leg technique, sword technique, comprehend leg intent, saber intent. The 16th on the list of outstanding people, Miao Xian, a late 6-star cultivation base, good at whipping, comprehend whipping. The 18th person on the list of outstanding people, Liu Xiaotian, a late 6-star cultivation base, good at defense, mastered in the high-grade martial arts shield armor of the mysterious order, comprehends the meaning of shield, and is known as a perfect fortress that cannot be broken. Yunmeng Inner Palace, morning, in a small single-family building, Su Ba held a thin booklet in his hand, similar to a roster, flipping page by page. On each page, there are some information materials that introduce the various disciples on the list of outstanding people. This is the latest issue. Su Ba spent 3 low-grade true essence stones for the handyman to buy it. On the Renjie list, basically the top 20 genius disciples on the Renjie list have understood the artistic conception of martial arts, and Su Ba has not seen the others for the time being. Yo, you actually saw me. Su Ba, who was looking at him, suddenly raised his brows and looked down. The 28th person on the list of outstanding people, Su Ba, a 4-star peak cultivation base, good at body training, stick skills, and comprehension of stick skills. Haha, this should be some information that was recorded when I challenged Lu Niu and Yuan Tao. Su Ba looked at his information in the booklet and suddenly smiled lightly. The difference between him now and the data is too big, too big. It has been 1 night since he returned from a month of training, because Su Ba came back late last night to hand in the task, so he didn't disturb anyone in the inner palace. In the last 20 days of training, I have gained more than 50,000 reinforcement points, which made Su Ba look completely new again. Strength skyrocketed a few steps. Feel free to pull out the properties panel. Host, Su Ba, Cultivation Realm, 6-star early stage, plus, cultivation method, Zhuyang Divine Art, 10/720, plus, weapon, Rui Gold Hoop Bar, martial skills, human level high quality The Great Wilderness Demon Cudgel, Xian level high quality Thunderlight Illusory Movement, artistic conception, Great Wilderness Stick Intent, completion, Leiguan Walking Intent, introduction, talent, mastery of Pill Dao, increase the rate of pill success by 50%. The number of pills by 50%, and the quality of pills by 50%. Secret skill, Eye of Hell, enhancement point, 10 points, lottery draw, 100 points of reinforcement. You can have a lottery draw. Storage space, 10 cubic meters, plus, the cultivation base directly soared to a great realm. The 5 acupoints were opened up again, and the strength skyrocketed by 40,000 genes. With the power points obtained by the draw again, the strength of both arms exceeded 75,000 genes. The average 6-star peak body refining martial artist is far from reaching this data. Mysterious level high-quality martial arts lightning illusory steps has reached the realm of culmination. And successfully comprehend Leguang Bai. Speed soars. The great wilderness will push the boat along the river, and it will be complete. The soul power is increased again, and the attack power of the secret skill Hell Eye is increased again. The superposition of various strengths is not a new look. What is it? The current Su Ba, to deal with the self a month ago, is only a matter of one move. The corner of Su Ba's mouth smiled indifferently. He was looking at the booklet of the top masters, not boring, but with his own purpose. As your strength improves, you always have to find someone to practice your skills. And now, he has a goal. Closing the booklet and throwing it aside, Su Ba stood up. The masters of the top talent list, Tremble, Su Ba, are here again. Chapter 86 Come Out and Die. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yunmeng Wufu, Inner Palace, ranked 18th on the list of outstanding people, Liu Xiaotian single-family building. Hahaha, the mood of Lao Tzu's shield armor has become small. As for whoever competes with me in the Yunmeng Inner Palace, Lao Tzu's defense is invincible, hahaha. An insolent laughter suddenly came from the small building. I saw that in the center of the lobby of the small building, Liu Xiaotian was squatting on a horse, and his upper body was in a strange posture. Black light flashed all over his body. Vaguely, when the screen turned, it seemed that this person had a dense appearance of small scale-like shields, slowly rotating around him. Every time he rotates, Liu Xiaotian's unmoving aura becomes more and more vigorous. Congratulations to senior brother Liu for his great achievement. He is just around the corner to dominate the inner palace. Seeing this, the handyman on the side hurriedly stepped forward to flatter him. Good, reward. Liu Xiaotian was very satisfied with the words, great achievement and domination of the inner palace, although he knew that with his own strength, he was a little delusional, but he was very confident in his defensive power. As long as his shield and armor artistic conception was complete, he was afraid that he would be the real defense power of the inner palace. But at this time, just now, the mood is small, and it is reasonable to pretend to be forced. Thank you senior brother Liu. After practicing for so long, senior brother Liu is a little tired. Have a cup of tea to refresh yourself. The handyman happily took a low-grade true essence stone thrown to him by Liu Xiaotian, and then quickly picked up a cup of refreshing tea that had just been brewed, and handed it to Liu Xiaotian diligently. Well. Liu Xiaotian glanced at the handyman with satisfaction, thinking that the handyman had an appetite for him. He just took the teacup and was preparing to taste the first product, when suddenly there was a loud noise from the gate of the compound. Boom! A deformed wooden door flew from far away, smashed the door of the small building directly, and flew into the lobby, smashed in front of the two of them, startling them. Liu Xiaotian shook his hand, and half a cup of hot tea splashed directly on his body. I wipe. Liu Xiaotian was furious. Before he could speak, a clear voice sounded leisurely outside the courtyard gate. Liu Xiaotian, come out and die. In the small building, the handyman looked confused. Liu Xiaotian's face was gloomy. He threw the teacup to the ground, and strode towards the door. Which son of a bitch dares to run wild on your grandpa Liu's territory? Liu Xiaotian walked out the door with a face ashen, and shouted loudly. After roaring, he realized that, at some point in time, a lot of people had gathered at the entrance of his small courtyard, and everyone had an expression of watching the show on their faces. What's the situation? Liu Xiaotian was startled for a moment, and then he saw a stern-looking young man dressed in black and carrying a thick black iron rod standing in front of him. "Are you Liu Xiaotian?" Suba folded his arms, looked at Liu Xiaotian, and said lazily, "I'm interested in where you live, so hurry up and get out of here, don't wait for me to hit you before you know that I'm the father you can't afford to offend." Groove. What an arrogant boy. Liu Xiaoweather's nose is crooked. The originally good mood was destroyed in a mess at this moment. A little-known boy, to play his prestige on his territory, he is simply courting death. Wrong. Suddenly, Liu Xiaotian frowned and looked at Suba carefully. Black clothes, iron rods, unscrupulous personality, it's impossible, this guy. Chapter 87 Strange Power. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Are you the murderer, Suba? A person's name suddenly flashed in Liu Xiaotian's mind, and he subconsciously exclaimed. It's me. Suba nodded lightly, but I think you can call me Ba, I don't mind. That I don't mind you. Uncle. Liu Xiao's weather is so stupid. His face instantly flushed with blood, and he looked at Suba and said coldly, Suba, I've heard a lot about your name, you really think you're a dick, don't you? Oh, it is said that you are very strong. Or do you use a heavy stick? The big wild stick is also small, and the battle is all about pressing people with force. Oh, sorry. Let me tell you, I just happened to have a small artistic conception of shield armor today, and I just took you to practice my hands. Wow. After Liu Xiaotian finished speaking, there were exclamations from all directions. What? Liu Xiaotian's shield armor has a small artistic conception. His shield armor is a top-grade martial skill of the Xian rank, and his artistic conception has quadrupled. This defensive power is very terrifying. Originally, Liu Xiaotian is known for his amazing defensive power. In the inner palace, apart from the top 5 men on the top 5, the other top masters on the list of people who are more powerful than Liu Xiaotian basically rely on water to grind kung fu to defeat him. Yes, Liu Xiaotian's shield is too hard, it looks like a turtle's shell, it can't be beaten, and the anti-shock force is not small. Although Suba uses a heavy weapon, if he can't break Liu Xiaotian's defense, then the anti-shock force can shock people to death. Suba is too arrogant. He is ranked 28th, and when he comes up, he will directly challenge the 18th on the top talent list. You must know that every ranking on the top talent list is not small. Today, this murderer is probably going to suffer. Listening to the discussion of the people around, Liu Xiaotian's mouth showed a smug arc, looked at Suba with contempt, and laughed wildly. Boy, come on, don't say Laozi bullies you, Laozi's defense is invincible. Ha ha ha, come on, hit me. I don't move like a mountain, if you hit me, I'll lose. Come on, ah ha ha ha. Noisy. Suba's expression became sharp, and he pulled out the golden hoop stick from his back and landed it on Liu Xiaotian's head. Boom. With this stick, Suba didn't use his true essence at all. With the strength of his body, he swung the stick, and there seemed to be a thunderous sound in the air. The golden hoop stick is coming, directly like a Mount Sumeru slamming down with an indescribable terrifying power. What? Liu Xiaotian was taken aback. He moved his hands together, and quickly took a strange posture, with black light flashing all over his body. With the surging of his true essence, a heavy and steady aura continued to radiate from his body. Vaguely, when the screen turned, it seemed that this person had a dense appearance of small scale-like shields, slowly rotating around him, Xiaocheng's shield armor mood. At the same time, a thicker shield appeared in Liu Xiaotian's hands, and he lifted it to the top. Just after this step, the golden hoop had arrived. Boom! There was a terrifying explosion on the ground. The Rui golden hoop slammed heavily on Xiaocheng's shield armor. Liu Xiaotian only felt a huge shock in his arms, and he completely lost consciousness below the elbow joint. The terrifying pressure was transmitted along his arms to his legs, causing the ground to burst. What kind of power is this? Liu Xiaotian almost let out a strange cry. If it wasn't for his usual focus on lower plate practice, he would have been able to kneel directly on the ground just now. Chapter 88 Treat Liu Xiaotian as a Human Steak. You are listening at novelfull.audio. However, before Liu Xiaotian could relax, a majestic pressure hit his head again. The shadow of the golden hoop rod rapidly enlarged in his sight. Damn it! Liu Xiaotian was extremely frightened, and once again held up his shield and pushed it up. Boom! The terrifying giant force struck again. Although Liu Xiaotian could still maintain the artistic conception of shield armor, his legs were straight and he would rather bend than bend. But the whole person was also nailed directly to the ground like a stake, and half of the calf was already sunk into the ground. The third stick. Fourth stick. Fifth stick. Su Ba's heavy blow was like a violent storm. The defense is invincible, right? Boom. Find me to practice, right? Boom. It doesn't move like a mountain, right? Boom. Let me fight quickly, okay? Boom. Hey, are you dumb? Boom. Really, why don't you talk? It's too disrespectful, it's time to fight. Boom. Are you cool now? Talk. Liu Xiaotian reluctantly took a breath, and just as he was about to speak, he slammed his head over again. Boom. Liu Xiaotian, ranked 18th on the list of outstanding people, very impressive. Silence is golden, right? Fight. You. Liu Xiaotian opened his mouth again, and hit him again with a blow from the top of his head. I wipe. Liu Xiaotian's face turned green now. You, uncle, can you let people slow down? You are so hard to do with iron, and you are not tired with such a violent blow, continuous and continuous? I really want to talk, you don't give me a chance to open my mouth. He was about to cry. Wipe. Bully people. This kid is not a human, he is simply a human-shaped beast, with such strange power. The entire inner palace is afraid that it can be compared with the second-ranked body-refining genius King Kong. Boom 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 boom. The huge bombardment sounded one after another, and the people around watched helplessly as Liu Xiaotian vomited blood from the shock, all over the body. In the end only one head was exposed outside the ground. Boom. The explosion sound like thunder came again, and the golden hoop was approaching, directly like a Mount Sumer crashing again with an indescribable terrifying power. Liu Xiaotian's face was pale and his heart was trembling, he was absolutely unable to stop this stick. Everyone around them widened their eyes in amazement. Just now, Liu Xiaotian's shield armor artistic conception has been smashed by Su Ba, and Su Ba is going to get a headshot now that this stick is down. Scoff. Last minute. The Rui golden hoop came to an emergency stop 1 centimeter above Liu Xiaotian's head, and the overflowing fierce stick made Liu Xiaotian's scalp numb, thinking that death had come. After a long time, I found myself alive. Liu Xiaotian gasped in relief, sweating like a waterfall on his face. After breathing, he managed to regain his senses, raised his head slightly, and saw Su Ba with a cold face holding a golden hoop, looking down at him. The sun's rays fell, reflecting on Su Ba's body, causing a large shadow to cover Liu Xiaotian. I just felt that at this moment, Su Ba standing in front of him was like a demon god who split the sky and the earth, looking at him with indifferent eyes looking down at the ants. Gudong. Liu Xiaotian swallowed his saliva consciously, and then immediately showed a flattering smile on his face, and smiled humbly. Senior brother Su, his divine power is boundless, and his anger covers mountains and rivers. Junior brother, I have taken it, hee hee. Chapter 89 You are a little weak. You are listening at novelfull.audio. There was silence all around. Everyone looked at Su Ba, who looked like a demon, and secretly swallowed. A murderer, he is still a murderer. Absolutely cannot be judged by common sense. Without using real energy, just relying on physical strength, he was able to kill the late 6-star, ranking 18th on the list of outstanding people, Liu Xiaotian, who is known as the unparalleled defense. Even the mood of Xiaocheng's shield armor was blown up. How strong is this power? The key point is that with so many heavy blows, the anti-shock force is astonishingly large. I am afraid that a 6th-level demonic bull and beast will be shocked to death, but this Su Ba is still alive and well, as if he has no feeling at all. How powerful should this body be? How long has this murderer entered the Yunmeng Inner Palace, and he has killed the masters on the list of outstanding people one after another. The speed is so fast that it makes them doubt their lives. Suddenly, someone discovered something, pointed at Su Ba and exclaimed. Look, fierce, no, senior brother Su's cultivation base. Everyone looked for the sound, the next second. The whole body shakes. 6-star early stage. Su Ba's cultivation has reached the early stage of 6 stars. Damn it, I remember that a month ago, senior brother Su seemed to be at the peak of 4 stars, right? After this month, it's already the early stage of 6 stars. God, eating, drinking, and cultivation hasn't grown so fast. Come on, find me a piece of tofu, and I'll kill you. The difference between people is really clear at a glance. I think it took me a full year and a half to reach the peak of the 4-star to the early stage of the 6-star, and I am still complacent about it. No wonder, senior brother Liu Xiaotian is in the hands of senior brother Su, and he is abused without the ability to resist. Senior brother Su is far superior in combat power of the same level. I am afraid that some talented warriors at the peak of 6 stars will not be able to beat him. Evildoer. Peerless genius. Everyone gasped and looked at Su Ba in amazement and awe. At this rate, who else in the inner palace can stop Su Ba's progress? The top 10 masters on the list of outstanding people. Right now, but, in a month, if they remember correctly, today, a month later, will be the half-yearly assessment of the inner palace. At that time, how strong would Su Ba be? How many people can beat him? They can't imagine. Feeling the admiration and awe in the eyes of everyone, Su Ba's face was indifferent, no longer looking at him with his head on the ground, flattering like a pug like Liu Xiaotian, withdrew the golden cudgel and planned to leave. It's still early, and a beautiful day is about to begin. The road of competition cannot be interrupted. The 18th person on the list of outstanding people is still a bit weak. It seems that this time I have to choose a stronger one. Is it a step-by-step challenge, or a direct challenge to the top 10? Su Ba touched his nose. Senior brother Su. This time. Outside the crowd, there was an urgent voice, accompanied by hurried footsteps. When Su Ba looked, he saw a disciple in a white robe running over panting. Senior brother Su. What's wrong? Su Ba was a little puzzled. He didn't seem to know this Pill Pavilion disciple. That elder who heard that you are back, and quickly asked you to go to his place to tell you something important. The Pill Pavilion disciple took a deep breath and finally spoke. Chief master looking for me. Something important. Su Ba was slightly startled. Okay, since master has a notice, let's go over first. Su Ba still understands the principle of respecting teachers and respecting the Tao. Okay, I see, let's go. Chapter 90 Lao Tzu is here again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dan Pavilion Hall. As soon as Su Ba entered, he saw Elder Hu was dressed in a white robe and had a clear face. Good apprentice, you have come back from your training. It's been a month. Come and let the teacher take a good look at it and see how much you have grown. As soon as Hu Danqing saw Su Ba, his eyes lit up and greeted him with a smile. Next second, Hu Danqing saw Su Ba's cultivation. After all, this is the most intuitive. 6-star early stage. Elder Hu's eyes widened, and he almost pulled off his beard in shock. If he remembered correctly, when Su Ba left him, he had just broken through from the peak of 4 stars to the early stage of 5 stars. My day. It's a big improvement in a month. Is this what people do? Hu Danqing asked himself that his cultivation talent is still good. If his main energy was not on alchemy, he would have broken through the day after tomorrow. However, it took him a full year to go from the 5-star early stage to the 6-star early stage. This kind of speed is considered a genius among warriors. Even Qin Zhuoyue, the arrogant daughter of the current so-called Fengwu kingdom, seems to have used it for more than 3 months. But this Su Ba is more than 3 times faster than Qin Zhuoyue. This is unbelievable. Suddenly, Hu Danqing thought of what Xiao Bao had said to him before. His heart sank. This Su Ba really seems to have unparalleled martial arts talent. Originally, he was in such a hurry to come over to Su Ba, just to keep his face in the air, and to say that he was already Su Ba's master, a teacher for one day and a father for life, and he couldn't change his mind. But now, having truly seen Su Ba's perverted martial arts talent, he hesitated again. After all, Su Ba's martial arts talent is even better than his alchemy talent. If you follow him in alchemy, he will indeed become an alchemy master in the future, but correspondingly, Fengwu Kingdom will lose a super martial arts expert. The status of an alchemist is indeed very noble, but it is the top martial arts powerhouse who determines the true status of a country. After all, he, Hu Danqing, is a member of Fengwu Kingdom, and he hopes that the country will be strong and proud in the entire eastern region. Master, what's the matter? Are you looking for me in a hurry? Seeing Hu Danqing's frown suddenly, Su Ba asked in confusion. Yes, I'm looking for you. Hu Danqing hesitated. This time. The surnamed Hu is here. I'm here again. It's been almost a month. Has that kid come back? Just as Hu Danqing was about to speak, a rough voice like thunder came from the entrance of the Dan pavilion, followed by an old man dressed in black who was not angry and arrogant walked in. Hu Danqing cursed inwardly, then pointed at Su Ba Dao expressionlessly. Well, it's him. The voice just fell. Su Ba felt tight all over. The old man in black on the opposite side looked like a torch, and his gaze fell on him, giving Su Ba the illusion that he was being scorched by the flames. Su Ba's pupils shrank slightly. This old man in black is not easy. Not to mention that the sight of the black-clothed old man made his whole body tense. Even the faint terrifying aura on his body made Su Ba's hair stand on end. This is a kind of oppression, which belongs to the unconscious oppression of the real strong. A warrior of this level is definitely a tyrannical boss. Subconsciously, the 9-yang divine art within the oppressed Su Ba automatically operates. The Jiuyang true essence, which has just reached the sun, is surging like waves. The whole body is burning like a furnace, expelling the oppression that is close to the body surface. This moment. The black-clothed old man Xiao Bao's eyes shone brightly.